What's down with the YouTube and YouTube Buzz? It's your boy TripleCup Chuck and I'm up. And I just finished watching the EA press conference for E3, and I will say it was lackluster. It wasn't that good, but these are some of my thoughts about the conference. It was a couple things that they showed that was kind of interesting, but a majority of it was kind of boring. Starting with the Star Wars Battlefront, I really didn't like it. The game was not impressive. It didn't show me nothing that I would that'll make me want to purchase the game. That had me interested in getting it. I mean, it looked beautiful. I mean, it was stunning to the eyes, but it just looked like it was just boring and it was lame. And I was trying to keep myself awoke just to watch through the whole thing because it didn't have no pizzazz to it. It didn't have no jazz to it. It just was there. And they, you know what I'm saying, they didn't really talk too much about like how the campaign gonna be, because that was more interesting in the campaign than a 30-minute showing of the multiplayer, which, you know what I'm saying, the multiplayer look like it's gonna be okay, but you know they still put all their chips onto the multiplayer, so I'm still skeptical about that. Well, the other thing that I did like was the Battlefield one that they was showing a new update, and yes, Battlefield is a juggernaut. 20 million players playing Battlefield, and now they finna introduce the night maps. I can't wait because I love to play in the nighttime, and they give you more of a be able to creep around and be able to be more stealthy, and then get a lot more melee tags, and then you can get you some dog tags. So people that's on dog tag hunters, that'd be the perfect thing for you when they start showing like the night. I mean, when they start coming out with the night maps, and then they got the what it is, T-Star or whatever it is with the Russian. They're gonna have like the 6 new maps that's coming in September. I think the little piece, you know what I'm saying, that they showed looked it pretty good, even though they're gonna have like 8 maps in total coming. So I'm guessing it's gonna be okay. I'm waiting to see how it's gonna show out, because you know they're gonna show a little bit more about that. And the one thing I did notice they kind of showed a little glimpse of is like they did a little charge thing where you was on a horse and you had a sword and you was able to charge and just kind of melee somebody. Man, now I had to jump for that one, because that was like, yeah, that's the best thing I had seen. And the game and another thing out the EA conference that caught my attention that I had no intentions on purchasing, because Forza just hold the race car genre down to the T. Now the new Need for Speed, I think they finding their own lane to be in their own little category where make it be their own special, unique type of game. Especially when they had the slow motion when you was driving and you see the other car crash, and then they're going slow motion and showing how it crashed. I was like, okay, that kind of caught my attention. I like how they did that. And then the way they was maneuvering and driving, and all of a sudden you see the speed boost and they swerving around the corners. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too realistic, but at the same time, it was a Need for Speed. It gave you that Fast and Furious type of feel, and it gave, you know what I'm saying, it just gave you that feel of like, yeah, okay, I could dig this. I can go with that. You know what I'm saying? Just the aspects of it, and then they have like a story mode that they have that you playing instead of just a regular traditional race car game where y'all just racing to the finish line. So I think they found their own lane, and if they maxed it out like they supposed to and hit the nail on the tee, I think I might purchase that one. That might be the game that really caught my attention. That will be my sleeper out of EA that I didn't think of. And then the games that they showed that was new that they never showed was one game they were showing like it's called a Way Out. So trying to find a way out, you locked up in prison and you link up with this other person. They say they want you to play couch co-op. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not no couch co-op person. I don't have nobody at my house playing the game. I got a cousin stay right around the corner from me. We'll be sitting outside talking, and we'll be talking about playing Madden or playing any other game, and he'll go to his house, I'll go to my house, and we'll get online. That's just the generation we living in. We don't really do the couch co-op thing anymore, but it's still a good concept. But I did like the whole aspect of they show you like from 2 different perspectives, and you can see both of them at the same time, even though it was kind of like crossing my eyes up because I'm steady looking left and right, back and forth. So I'm guessing that's a game like if I'm playing, I'm supposed to be doing something, then all of a sudden I look at my partner's screen and I misdo something because I'm being distracted. That could be a downfall about the game, but I'm guessing it's an indie game, so I look at it, it's more like a AA game, a low budget AA game. So I give it a little time to see how it's gonna go and the things that they're gonna add to it. But the story look like it's gonna be pretty basic, you know, generic about, you know what I'm saying, dudes in jail, they trying to get out of jail. One of them got a child, he wanna go see, you know, the same little story that you'd hear 1,000 times about people in jail trying to get out of jail, breaking out of jail, you know, prison break, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what I'm saying, it's a AA game, so I ain't expecting too much out of it. Well, you know what I'm saying, these are some of my initial thoughts about the EA press conference. Oh, another thing too is some of the things that I wanted to see, did not see. Fight Night. one thing I wanted to see on stage. They did not show nothing about no fight night, and I'm kind of disappointed about them not talking about fight night. Another thing that they didn't talk about no UFC 3. So without a fight night, I was expecting the UFC 3. Didn't show nothing about that. Madden, they kind of just rushed through it. They ain't really show too much about that. FIFA, they showed a little bit about FIFA, but I'm not too interested in FIFA. So that was another game that they showed was just there. But you know what I'm saying, they got a good concept in the way they were showing it. I guess if you're a big FIFA fan, that'll be a good game for you, because they look like they really kind of fine-tune it and tighten it up a little bit. But you know what I'm saying, they ain't really show no depth and no details of too much about none of their sports games. Oh, and they bringing another live back, another game that I'm not interested in. Seems like they just is a cookie cutter of 2K. So they just took 2K and made the exact same game over and just made a less game. So it's like a bootleg 2K. So not interested. They need to leave it alone. And another game they should have shown was like NBA Streets or Def Jam or, you know, it's Just Damn Fights. You know, EA Big. They could have showed. There's a whole bunch of different games they could have showed or could have brought to the state table, but they didn't. So we was left with a 30-minute showing of Battlefront multiplayer that I did not care for. I sat here and I was like, is it over with yet? And I ain't know what to do, just sitting there looking at that. So I know a lot of streamers and people that was talking about it probably feel the same way about this. EA Big should have been there. The fight night should have been there. The NBA Live, I'm about to say 2K, because it looked just like it the way they adding stuff on them. It shouldn't have been there at all. Well, that's just my initial thoughts about this game, and let me know what y'all think. Comment below if y'all liked it. It's some of the stuff that they didn't have on there, some of the stuff they should have added on them, things that you feel like they should have cut some or added some on them. Leave some comments, you know what I'm saying? Let's have a little conversation, go back and converse back and forth about this EA press conference. Well, this was just my initial thoughts after the conference was over with. This your boy TripleCup Chuck, and I'm out. And remember, I don't do this for me, I do this for we. So like, subscribe, and holler at your boy. And don't forget to choke that like button till it turn blue. I'm out.